Hello everyone, my name is Brandon Sana. I'm one of 3 members of your England-based operation. The other members here today are Robert Groff and Kevin Rabick, who will also be presenting. Today we've prepared for you a brief overview of some of the cultural considerations and challenges that we have faced overseas in the United Kingdom. We'll talk a little bit how they differentiate, and of course also how they are very similar to some of the cultural differences and traditions that we have here in the United States. One of the areas we're going to be covering will be cultural dynamics, basically general overview of England's cultural demographics and densities and stuff, such as population, language, religion, and their education, so to speak. We'll also be talking a little bit about punctuality. We do want to cover punctuality and how it differentiates here in America. Robert Groff will then come up and discuss some of the communication differences that he's experienced in England, and more specifically some of the nonverbal communication differences that they have there and some of the verbal differences that they have there in the United Kingdom as compared to here in the United States. And last, Kevin Rabick will come on board and he'll talk to you a little bit about some of the business norms that he's encountered in England and how they are either similar or different from what we experience here in the United States. So let's talk a little bit first about some of the cultural dynamics in England and what it means to us in the American business community here. Well, first off, England has a population of over 63 million people, and that is significant specifically because it offers us a large pool to conduct business. It offers a potentially successful pool to generate income and capital. With 63 million people, obviously it would make more sense to try and get into the business community in England than it would to go to another nation that offers us a fraction of that number. So because they have 63 million people there, it's a significant pool for us to go in and generate some capital and attempt to do some international business transactions with them. And not only that, because of the similarities of England and the United States, having 63 million people who generally speak the same language and generally carry the same traditions, it just makes it a smooth transition altogether. Within that 63 million people, 76% of that population is made up of British descent, while 12% of it come from Scottish or Welsh descent, and then the remaining 12% of their population are generally British mixed nationalities. And again, like I said, because some of the traditions that England has are very similar to ours, the biggest factor for success for us would obviously be the language. 98% of the people in England speak English, which just makes it remarkably easy for us to go over and do business. Another key consideration for us would be the religion. And why does religion play such a big role in the business community? Well, because their religion is predominantly based on Christianity, it's the same for us in the United States, which basically transpires into us also having the same religious traditions and share some religious traditions that they have in the United Kingdom. And when I say Christianity in England, is predominantly made up of Protestant and Roman Catholic denominations, which is no different than it is here in the United States. So again, that just offers us tremendous success in that aspect that we're able to follow some of these traditions. Now, punctuality, I mentioned punctuality earlier, and again, some of you may be wondering why punctuality will be a topic of discussion when talking about international business with the United Kingdom. But I think the main point here is that punctuality is such a critical aspect of success for any business. Actually, for any organization. We don't even have to talk about business. We could talk about education, and punctuality will come up as a key factor for success. But speaking in the business community, understanding the notion that time is money, and that's kind of a belief that we have within American business. Time equals money, right? Which means time lost equals money lost. And having said that, we put a dollar value on time. An employee that is not at work is losing money, and therefore is of no use to our business. So when we talk about punctuality, it's really important for everybody in this room to understand that you need to be at work, but more importantly, you need to be at work on time so that we can start generating capital and income for our organization. And I would say that the difference in American belief and punctuality is that we put a dollar value on it, and in England they don't put so much a dollar value. They view time as reliability, as trustworthiness for their employees, and they view time as they hold it basically in such high value. And if you're wasting time, you're wasting, you're basically squandering a relationship, so to speak. And I'll try and explain this a little more. But for example, employees that are not at work on time, or first off, employees that are not at work are of no use, but employees who are not at work on time, it takes away from their credibility and it takes away from their reliability. Furthermore, taking away from their value for the organization. So in England, if you are habitually late or habitually tardy, it'd be no different than the United States in the way we would discipline them. Obviously, we cut them loose and they'd no longer be a part of our organization. But what I will say is, in a meeting setting where you're conducting a business meeting, time is very important. It's considered impolite in the United Kingdom community for you to have a business meeting and be late to it. It's generally polite or a common practice for you to be either early or on time. And anytime you be running late or a chance of being tardy, what you would do is you'd call ahead, notify the people that you're meeting that you will be delayed, or what you can do is reschedule your meeting at a later date or at a later time. And I think that this is common practice within both the American business community as well as the United Kingdom community. But again, the main difference here that we experience as far as punctuality is that in America we put a dollar value on time. In England they put a reliability value, a credibility value, or rating on time. And that's basically the major difference that we experience here. So now I want to turn the presentation over to Robert Groff, who will cover communication differences that he's experienced abroad, and then Kevin Rabick will come up and discuss cultural business norms that he's experienced during his time abroad in the United Kingdom, and then Kevin will wrap up our presentation with a conclusion and recap, and then we'll open the floor for any questions that you may have for us. Thank you again.